You've probably heard that MongoDB doesn't have auto-increment sequences. And if you're coming from Postgres or MySQL, where you use it everywhere, you think you need sequences. But here is the truth. MongoDB doesn't have a special sequence object because it doesn't need one. In SQL, sequences are specialized because making them transactional, ACID, like the other object, would kill the performance. In MongoDB, the developer chooses the transactional behavior for any operation and doesn't need a specialized object for that. Did I say that SQL is not always transactional? Yes. You may think that your sequences in Postgres cannot have a gap. I'm going to show you that they have actually a gap in some cases, even where you do not expect it. It's important to understand your requirements before considering an alternative in MongoDB. Let's look at Postgres first. I create a table with an auto-generated identity colon. And behind that, there is a sequence. I can check the table definition and I can check the sequences. I can even see all details about the sequences from PG sequences. This is the SQL standard syntax with generated always as identity. It's always a bit verbose. I could have used big serial in Postgres or even use my own sequence created before and use it in the default clause. But finally, it's the same. There is a sequence behind it. Okay, I'm going to insert 3 rows, but I intentionally roll back the second one because that can happen for many reasons. An application exception or a system failure. Here is the first one that I insert and commit. And here is another one that I start to insert, but the transaction rolls back. And here is the real second one that will be committed. And then we look at the generated identifiers here. And you can see that I have a gap. First one is 1, but second one is 3, because the second transaction was rolled back, but wasn't really expecting an ACID transaction, and the number generation was not rolled back. This happens because SQL sequences are non-transactional by design, allowing for high concurrency. SQL databases sometimes use NoSQL solutions to scale. Now, let's see how MongoDB handles this using a simple collection document, no special object required, just a document and an atomic operation. I create my demo collection with its schema declaration, one value field accepting only character strings, and I create another collection that will store a single document that will track the IDs like a sequence, and I call it sequence. I insert a new document in the demo collection, and I get an ID from my sequence collection with findOneAndUpdate. I have an identifier like a sequence name, and I just increment the number with $inc, and it's an upsert so that it creates the document if it doesn't already exist. I return the document after, so I get the new value from that. And this new value is used for the ID. I continue with the fields that I have in my document, so I inserted here one first document. I insert a second one. And here I will do the same as I did with Postgres. It will fail, and because MongoDB with schema validation has strong schema enforcement, if I insert a value that is not a character string, that is an integer here, it will fail and it will roll back automatically. We can see here document failed validation. So the insert didn't happen. I insert a third one. It's actually the second one that will be committed without error. Again, generating from the sequence, and that's the second one I am storing there. Okay, and then I will look at the documents that I have here just to see how was incremented the value for the ID. And we can see that, like in Postgres, we have a gap. The one that failed used the ID number 2 and didn't reclaim it for the other one. If we run this outside of a session, each statement is like an auto-commit transaction, including the findOneAndUpdate call that succeeded, even if the insert using the return value fails. That's an alternative to SQL sequences. You get the performance, but you also keep your gaps. And accepting gaps increases the scalability. But what if you cannot have gaps? If it's a business requirement. In SQL, you cannot use a sequence. Even in a transaction in SQL, you will need to lock and update a row in a table. But in MongoDB, to make our find and update transactional, we just use the same code, but we run it within an explicit transaction. I start a session and I use MyDB, the session-bound database object. I start a transaction in that session and I run the insert as I did before. Now the increment is part of the multi-document transaction. If it fails, the transaction will be aborted, including the increment. This will abort because I use an integer into a field that accepts only text. So I roll back my transaction, abort transaction, and I start another one now that will succeed with the right value. So still using the same code to generate a number and increment the document that serves the sequence. This succeeds, I commit the transaction. And now, if we look at the identifiers, there is no gap. Between number 3 and number 4, I tried to increment the counter, but the transaction was rolled back, and I have no gap between them. It's very simple in MongoDB. If you want it transactional, you run it in a transaction. If you want a transaction per call, then you don't need an explicit transaction. So when you are looking for an alternative to SQL sequences, you must first understand that they are just a specialized non-transactional hack inside a SQL transaction, because in SQL, everything runs in a transaction. You don't need it in MongoDB, and you can use the regular API to increment a counter. Always think about what you need to achieve rather than trying to mimic what you did on another platform. By default, the ID in MongoDB is generated with a timestamp, some randomness, and a client identifier. So for the best scalability, you may not need a sequence, just use the object ID. Use a sequence number only if you need it, and then challenge the requirement for a no-gap sequence. It has an impact on scalability in MongoDB like in SQL. Just try to understand if you really need a gapless sequence and then run it in a transaction.